Hare Krishna. Yeah, excuse me for being late. Yesterday I did Nirjala Kadasi, so my kind of schedule gets thrown off a bit. Okay. All right. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Canto 10, Chapter 46, Text 14. Om Namo Bhagavate Vāsudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vāsudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vāsudevaya. Āgataṁ samāgamya kṛṣṇasyānucaraṁ priyam. Nanda prītaḥ pariṣvajya vāsudeva-dhiyārcayat. As soon as Uddhava arrived at Nanda Mahārāja's home, Nanda came forward to meet him. The cowherd king embraced him in great happiness and worshipped him as nondifferent from Lord Vāsudeva. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Taksur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Pancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So greetings from Brick, New Jersey. It's so nice to have welcoming places wherever you go. It's also very nice here, very peaceful to do a fast on Ekadasi. So the Bhagavatam is beautifully constructed. And I mentioned this before. The purpose is the spirit of rasa, the spirit of a relationship with Krishna, which is inspired when we purify our hearts and hear about people who love Krishna in a perfected way. But to keep that understanding pure, we have to maintain a healthy reverence for Krishna before we have this perfect, intimate relationship. And that reverence is inspired by God's opulence. And therefore the Bhagavatam is weaved very carefully. And even in Krishna's pastimes, there's just a drop of that, where the gopis realize that Krishna is God, or Krishna Isha Cheshtata. He performs activities that only God can perform. So here, that ultimate sweetness of the Bhagavatam, which we left 20 chapters ago in Vrindavan, in the philosophical story, there's a story of Krishna's life, but Krishna's life is so perfectly constructed that hearing and understanding it works in the appropriate way in your consciousness to have the proper receptacle to hear Krishna's stories and pastimes. I was reading a book on japa by Shivaram Swami, and I told you I really love the example. There is a microphone. The sound comes through the microphone, but the microphone doesn't hear. So it's not just that the sound and the stories come through our consciousness and we hear it. We have to have the consciousness, which has the right understanding and the right objectives and desires. So the Bhagavatam is weaved very, very carefully to give us this proper objective and goal, but also to give us the understanding by which we can receive it and actually hear it properly and understand it properly, and ultimately to feel it properly. So somehow or other, Krishna has left Vrindavan, and we kind of got a taste of Braja Bhakti, which is our goal. And now a little bit more reverence has been added to Krishna, because Krishna is now, by the time we're reading this, he's already a king. So the reverential mood is added to that Bhagavatam too. Maybe we're not pure enough to get the full dose of Rag Marg without relevantizing it as something mundane. So maybe just a little bit of this reverence for Krishna as a king. But now Krishna sends Uddhava back to Vrindavan, because the residents of Vrindavan are in separation. And by sending Uddhava back to Vrindavan, the most trusted advisor in the whole Vrishni dynasty, a direct disciple of Brihaspati, a dearly beloved friend of Krishna, and the most intelligent person in the world, he's going to send a message back to the gopis. That's on the storyline, but on the philosophical line, the glories of the gopis are going to be demonstrated by Krishna's most intelligent, closest friend, best advisor, and best devotee outside of Vrindavan is Uddhava, the closest, the most intimate. The philosophical story is going to demonstrate what our objective should be, which is this spontaneous devotion, which Krishna himself came to give. That's why Krishna came, because that love, free from distance, free from fear, free from reverence, is much more spontaneous and forceful. And Krishna wants this. And he wants us to play that role. He wants us to have this. So he wants to show that this is the topmost. And who better than Uddhava to deliver the message on the platform of the storyline to pacify the gopis, and on the platform of the philosophical line, understand and realize that their devotion is the topmost, and bring that message back to Dwarka, to the queens of Dwarka, who are non-envious, who will appreciate the glories of Krishna when he was younger, but also to announce it to the world. Also to announce it to the world. And in these exchanges in Vrindavan, we get a sense of this rasa. Priyam, priyam, Uddhava arrives, samāgamya, approaching. The Nanda priyam, the dear Nanda, the anucaraṁ, Krishna. Uddhava, the follower of Krishna, is approaching Nanda, who's very dear, and he's embracing him. Nanda Mahārāja is embracing him, prītaḥ. He's happy. He's happy. And why is he happy? Because vāsudeva-dhiyārcayat, because he's worshiping Uddhava, thinking as non-different than Krishna. Not exactly completely non-different from Krishna, but one of the aspects of love for your beloved and feelings of love is the glorification, service, and worship of the people who are dear to your most beloved. I mean, a simple example, people come to my Vyasa Puja and they come to honor me as their teacher. I'm humbled by that. But my mother comes, and my mother is loved because she's my mother. Of course, she can stand on her own, but that has a factor. So one of the impetuses for spiritual, for bhakti, is seeing those who love Krishna. So hearing about Nanda Mahārāja is invoking our love about Krishna because he loves Krishna. And Nanda Mahārāja serving Uddhava invokes his love of Krishna because also he's a cousin of Krishna. He's the son of Vāsudeva's brother. You can see Vāsudeva's brother. He actually looks like Krishna, and that's enhanced by his bhava or mood. The disciple takes the mood of the guru, and the associate takes the mood of Krishna. And what's his service? He is the pariṣvajya, he's the intimate servant. And that's why he's able to carry this message. Just like Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Mano Bhishtam. He understood the mind. And therefore he was able, Rupa Goswami was able to carry out the mission of Lord Chaitanya because he understood his mind. He understood his mind. So the mind is understood by one who has invoked the confidence of the person he's loved by his demonstration of service. When that is manifest, then one reveals himself fully. So Uddhava understands the mind because he's so surrendered. He's such a servant, and he's so intelligent to be able to understand it. Because you need both faith and thoughtfulness. Without faith, you don't attempt to understand. Without thoughtfulness, even if you attempt, you can't understand. So, and already, Krishna said, make my father pretty, make him joyful, happy. So he came. And we understand that, Uddhava And Krishna told him about the level of the gopis. And how he already told him that their devotion is unparalleled. That their devotion is unparalleled. And then by the Leela Shakti, because again, for Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer, he has to have drama in his life. And drama means that you must be forgetful. So his pastimes are manifested by his own Shakti called the Leela Shakti. And the purpose of the Leela Shakti, whether it invokes forgetfulness or remembrance, is to invoke love. And love is the highest reality, not knowledge. To actually invoke love. So he's invoking love. And also for Uddhava to actually perform his service and come back with an understanding of Braj, he needs not only to see the utter depression, anxiety, disparagement, and suffering of the residents of Vrindavan, he also needs to see their joy. So even though they're in such depression that no one has cleaned their house since Krishna has left, he's seeing the joyful Vrindavan when Krishna is present. And the joyful Vrindavan, it's very interesting. It's mostly manifested, what his vision is, in cows and bulls. That's the environment. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo. He has to see the cows. They're so dear to Krishna. And I think this is another proof of Krishna being God. That being of which no greater be conceived. If someone doesn't have cows, I can conceive of a greater being, one who is with cows. There's nothing so good, wholesome, inspiring as cows. Protected cows and their milk and their ghee and their yogurt. I used to take every year groups of people to Prem Kishore, and they used to churn butter. They used to churn butter. They used to churn butter at Prem Kishore's, and just with the thing and just watching that milk turn into butter and then drinking the buttermilk with lemon or lime and sugar, just the purity, the wholesomeness, sattva, the nature of being. I don't think anything represents the pure nature of being than cows and milk in its purest form. It gives you some type of glimpse into an ultimate reality of purity. Bojitam parama anena samvishtam kashipao shukam gata shamam paryaprichat parasamva hanadibi. After Uddhava had eaten first-class food, having been seated comfortably on a bed and been relieved of his fatigue by a foot massage and other means, Nanda inquired from him as follows. So I mentioned this so many times. Tradition. What is culture? Culture, what is it? It's the purpose of an institution. And there's hard institution, which is the buildings and the governmental structure, and this soft institution, which is the teachers and the books. But the purpose of the institution is to carry that which is proper and has value into the future. So there are institutions in society of family, and institutions of culture, institutions of behavior. An institution or a culture, a tradition is supposed to carry that which is proper and has value into the future. And because the society today is losing its traditions, the people are becoming uncultured, and therefore there's a lack of communication in society, there's a lack of relationship in society, and there's a lack of learning in society. And you can see it so clearly. You could see it so clearly. So here, there's that beautiful culture. Bojitam paramanena, fed with first-class food. Samvishtam kashipu sukham, and he was seated, kashipo, on a soft bed, sukham, comfortably. And gata, shramam, pada, and his feet were relieved of fatigue with sambhahana, with massaging, so on. And pariṣvajya, and then Nanda inquired from him. Kachit anga mahabhaga sakana suranandana aste kushu yapatya der yukta mukta suridvrata. Nanda Mahārāja said, "My dear, most fortunate one, does the son of Sura fare well now that he is free and has rejoined his children and other relatives?" So Anga, my dear Mahabhaga, my dear fortunate Uddhava. And why fortunate? And what is fortunate? Our fortune is our connection with God. That's the preliminary basis of satisfaction. The preliminary basis of satisfaction is constitution, is acting according to your nature. And the classic practical example is a fish in water. So our satisfaction has to begin with our constitution. It has to begin with our connection with God. Because if that's not there, takva swadharmam charanam bhujam hare bhajana pakvotat tatepati. What is the profit if you gain the whole world and lose your soul? Dharma svinustita pumsa viviksena katasa no pariye yatiratim shrama. Again, shrama. It becomes useless. So Dharma it has to be connected with God. So he's Mahabhaga. He's the most fortunate. Who's the most fortunate? The most fortunate is that person who's connected with God and realizes his relationship, because he has the platform to become happy. And until that platform, nothing will satisfy you. We know the story of Gop Kumar. He got the Bhakti Lata Beach from his guru. Then his guru left, but he had the mantra. And he had that mantra and that taste and that understanding. It was intuitive with him. And he went to the universe. Even he went to Puri. He went to so many places. And he could have been the king in different places. But he wasn't satisfied until muktir hitva yata rupam surupena vivastita, until you're situated in swarup, the form which your own form. So he said, my fortunate one. And then he asked them about, he doesn't ask about Krishna. It's just too painful. These people on prema bhakti, they're very sensitive in relationship to Krishna. The highest reality is the highest emotion, and it's sensitive. It moves. It expresses so many transitory emotions and so many physical reactions, and so much willful types actions and service with the body, mind, and words. So he cannot ask about Krishna, just as Sukadeva Goswami, who's the Radharani's parrot, cannot mention Radharani's name directly. I know people that have tremendous love for someone, and it's extremely emotional. I have a very advanced god sister named Sitala. She's the husband of Padisari, Prabhupada's servant. She's very pure. And one year she showed up in Govardhan for Prabhupada's disappearance festival. And we asked her why she was there. She said, it's just too painful to be on disappearance day, at the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada on his disappearance day. That's 40 more years. It's 45 years later. She still can't be there. So what about Nanda Mahārāja? To mention Krishna's name, Sukadeva Goswami, to mention Radha's name. Eventually in the Bhagavatam, he can only describe her through the words of the gopis when they found her somebody else's footprints with Krishna, and understand that Krishna left the rasa dance with her, even though he was bound by so many gopis who he couldn't repay. Aniya radito nunam bhagavan hariyar ishvara, vidhaya govinda. There's no other that satisfied so much. Aniya radito nunam. No other. So he can't, he asks, how is Vāsudeva? Now that he is free from Kamsa's prison, because Kamsa has been killed. So how is he now? that he's mukta, he's free, and he's mukta and he's yukta, he's freed, and he's joined with who? Surit Vrata, to his friends who are devoted, as well as apatya adya, with his children and so on. So how is he? Dishtya kamso hata papa, sanuga swena papmana, sadunam dharma shilanam, yadunam dveshta yatsida. Fortunately, because of his own sins, the sinful Kamsa has been killed along with his brothers. He always hated the saintly and righteous. Papmana, sinful, and the saintly and righteous Yadus. How is he? Because he had dveshti. He hated the righteous, and we also hate the righteous. You know why we hate the righteous? Because the righteous represent the truth, and the truth doesn't conform to our desires. We also don't like the righteous. Or we are challenged by the righteous. We're challenged by the truth. That's why independence is so important to us. But independence of what? Independence for what? Independence to enjoy and control, separate from God, separate from truth, separate from others, separate from principles. And dveshti, we hate those who represent, their authority represents Krishna because it represents the Shastra. So when you're a real demon, you really hate that. And we can see in the modern world that some people just hate God. They hate religion because they have a secular religion. And it's a typical example of shallow thinking, of not understanding shreyas, understanding the ultimate goal is prayas, people's immediate enjoyment. Not understanding that it's so destructive because it degrades the mind, it degrades the consciousness. It doesn't bring them happiness. Okay, I'm going to have to leave a little early today because I have about 2.5 hours of just somehow today meeting people, and I'm slightly fatigued from that Ekadasi, but we can end a little bit earlier. And Jamuna Jaya, back from London.
Hi,
Are you in London or you're back?
No, I'm back. I just got back yesterday. I'm back here. Beautiful, wonderful trip.
Really?
It was, yeah. On Radharastami, they let us chant morning japa in Prabhupada's room in the manor, and that was just.
Where did you stay?
So I stayed in the ladies' ashram right there and directly across from the manor.
And what facility they have in the ladies' ashram?
So I guess it's been fairly newly renovated because I spoke to a woman who was there like right before the pandemic and it wasn't as fixed up. So there's it's a little cottage, and there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's like 6 rooms. 2 on the bottom, like 2 ladies each per room, a bathroom, a little kitchen area.
This is not in the manor. This is outside.
It's on the manor grounds. So there's the manor and there's that courtyard. And then there's it's like a little Tudor style cottage.
Okay. Did they make that new temple for the deities yet?
No, not yet. They have they made a, like right in front of the manor, there's a big courtyard, and there's all these rooms where they serve prasad now in the morning, and that is new. That's what I was hearing, that's new within the last 3-4 years. So that's completed, and there's a hall where there are weddings going on, and that's where they serve prasad. There's a a bakery where people can just come onto the grounds and get stuff and then have lunch and stuff. So that's all new construction. Yeah.
Okay, but the deities haven't moved from the Bhaktivedanta Manor.
No, the deities are still there. Yeah.
Which people did you meet that you remember?
Oh my goodness. I met a lot of the ladies, a woman, Jagat Priya. I met Mahavishnu Swami. When I went into town, and he's next level Maharaj. So we joined him on a Harinam. I was just there and I dropped my bags and joined with him, and he's shoving the gold microphone in people's faces. He was next level. And there's a new sannyasi. He just took sannyas. I believe his uninitiated name is Sutapata or something, Sutapata or something like that. Young man, very, very, very tall. I'd seen him go to class. I met a lot of the ladies ashram. It was just really and the devotees there are just so sweet and so. Say again, Maharaj?
Did you meet Gauri?
No, I don't think Gauri was there this week, so I didn't get to meet. Yeah.
Radhastami was nice?
Yes. It was the same day as the London Rath Yatra, as it turned out. So, yeah, so they had a Radharastami in the morning with Abhishek and stuff, and then there were buses that took people into London. But I had to go film the course in London, so I missed the Rath Yatra. And then back in the evening, there was more kirtan, but it was the place was packed in the morning for Mangal Arti. I got to go every day. But
I got to go to the Rath Yatra too, huh?
Well, only the very end of it, because I had to film the course. So I saw the blissful people heading back. So it was quite wonderful.
Now you're just chanting Hare Krishna and becoming like a world traveler.
First time I've traveled in a long time, but it was very special, and I was very pleased to be there, getting a lot of people to come do this.
I would ask you about the food, but I know you just eat air, so it's not going to be an argument.
Again, I got the reputation of like, Jimanajai doesn't eat anything. Everybody.
It's true. I've never seen you eat. We go big festivals, so many preparations. You just take a little. It's so little. It's embarrassing to the eating sannyasi. Okay. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hi, Bogi.
Yeah, I was struck by what's the name of your god sister who, after 45 years, can't go to.
What's that?
The Prabhupada. What's the name of your god sister who, after 45 years or something, still can't go to Prabhupada's disappearance festival?
Wait 1 second. I'm putting on my hearing aids. Just so people don't think I'm Superman, here's my kryptonite. All right, say it again now that I can hear.
Yeah, I was so struck by your god sister who, after 45 years, still can't go to Prabhupada's disappearance.
Oh yeah.
Festival. Yeah. What's her name again?
Sitala. Really special devotee. Wow.
So I was just wondering, my goodness, the day that he left the world physically, I can't imagine what her state must have been.
She's not an ordinary soul.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Also, yeah. Maharaj, you always make this point about communication, learning, and education, right?
Learning, communication, and relationship.
Okay, so during class you said education, but it's communication, learning, and relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, a few more people want to say hello.
Good morning, Maharaj. Thank you for class.
I got your letter. It didn't go down. It just kept on going across the page. I don't know. You know, yeah, I don't know. And it was so tiny that I couldn't even read it. I don't know how it translated, but it did better on my computer.
Sorry, you must have been my computer.
So it did better on my phone, on my computer. So I'll speak to you at the program, okay?
Okay, great, thank you. I just have one question. Can you repeat what you said about faith and knowledge? I'm not sure if I got it right. You said without faith?
Without faith, you won't consider something as true. Without thoughtfulness, even if you consider it's true, you probably won't understand it.
Got it. All right, thank you. I love that.
Okay, thanks, Isabel. And I really like that you're bonding with Sri Rupa and, you know, and all those people. There's a lot of nice ladies.
Missy and Sri Rupa and I are the three musketeers now.
Great. Okay, good. Okay. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Thanks for the class.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Haribo. Great.
Thank you very much for the class, Maharaj. Thank you.
You both look so brilliant and beautiful, and you have your altar. It's great. Okay, Haribo.
Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Lal Govinda. Thank you for class.
Hey, Lal, Haribo. Great.
See you Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Namaste here.
Haribo, Haribo.
Haribo. Thank you so much for the class.
Nice hearing from you. Okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Hemala Tarada.
Haribol.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful class, Maharaj.
Wonderful.
Okay, you look very cozy and nice in your jackets. It's a little cold. You're inside?
Chilly a little, but the good weather is coming.
Okay, great. Okay, Haribo.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Okay, anybody else?
Haribo, Maharaj. Welcome home, or welcome to New Jersey.
I didn't know Karuna had so many tattoos.
I don't have any tattoos. No tattoos.
Wait. Where is this now? Is this a new background or your place? Where is it?
It's just our kitchen.
It's the kitchen, but there's a window.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll see you guys Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thanks to Sri Rupa, you will see us Saturday.
Okay. Next. Okay, anybody else? Haribo. Okay, I see all the names. I'm gonna head out now because I have another meeting at 8:30. I'll take a little nap. Haribo.